Okay, can we start? So, welcome to the second live class. Um, Hope you have posted the questions that you have in mind. So, we will go over the most popular questions in order and try to address them. So, the first question is, can you provide some more questions for the certification exam? And so we'll try to do that. It's a bit late for the exam on the November 30, but during this um, week, probably we can try to release a few questions um, which are available on the on one of the links. Probably we'll give a list of programming practice questions. Now we cannot assure you that. We'll give the test cases and so on, but at least we'll give the list of questions, probably from one of the popular programming questions that you can find online. Unfortunately, because the request came a bit late, we cannot do a lot of things for November 30th exam, but we'll try to do something, and maybe for the next round, we'll try to do some more questions. And then there are questions about the pattern of the exam, and this I can say very concretely. There will be 4 questions in the upcoming exam. Uh, One will be classified as easy question, and then there will be 2 medium level questions and 1 difficult question. So you should be able to figure out from the marks of the question what is the classification of the question. So to repeat, there are 4 questions: 1 easy, 2 medium, and probably 1 difficult, medium difficult. Okay. Now there is a very specific question about the output of a program. Now, probably since it's a bit technical, I should give a detailed answer in writing. I'll do that as a response to that question. But in short, the idea of the answer is this. So there is a question about int a equal to 903 and then and so on. So what is happening is that you have an integer variable which consists of, depending on the machine, it may consist of 4 words, 4 bytes, and when you cast it to a character pointer, what happens is that the least significant byte is being assigned to a character. Okay, the basic, the first byte is getting assigned to a character. So when you print it, it will print the last uh, byte of the integer. Now it is printing -121 because you are probably trying it on an Intel machine, and Intel machine has signed characters, so it's a bit technical. But what is happening is that integer has 4 bytes, and it is taking the last byte and printing out the last byte in a very specific format. So I'll give a detailed answer online. Uh, then a plus plus is done on the pointer, and then you will print out the value of the next byte. So the next byte will be the higher significant digit. So if you convert 903 to hexadecimal, you will see that it is 387. So the first minus 121 that you're seeing is the 87 part in a very specific format. So I'll give an answer of why it is minus 121 online. And the 3 that you're seeing in the next is the higher bit, is the higher byte. So it is 903 is 387 in hexadecimal, and the 3 that you're seeing in the output is the second byte from the right. So I'll give a more detailed answer on it. The third question is how can a pointer be efficiently used in programming, and what are its main uses? So this is a bit, uh, it's a very broad question. I can give very brief answer. So pointers are generally used for two things. One is to increase the efficiency of uh, passing functions and returning values. Instead of returning a whole array, you pass a pointer. So that is how the array mechanism works in C. Similarly, if you have to pass a large structure, instead you pass a pointer to a structure. So this is much more efficient. So one of the reasons is that it is more efficient. The second reason is that uh, it allows you to pass by reference. And we have seen this code example of swapping two integers. If you ever encounter a situation where you have to change some variable in the calling function, and you have to do that in the called function, the best way to do it is by passing a pointer and allowing the references to work. Now, the third reason is dynamically allocated memory. So this is the usual dialog step. So we have seen all these three things. So increasing efficiency, pass by reference, and dynamic memory allocation, where you want to allocate a certain amount of space, but you don't know while before running the program how much space you need. So probably you'll take an input and then decide, okay, I need this much space. I will allocate that memory dynamically on the heap. So in these situations, pointers are used. Uh, so there is a request to make more mock tests available. Uh, I don't know if this is practical. We can give more practice questions, but a mock test. So the idea of a mock test was just for you to see the interface. So it is not online setting where you can submit a lot of questions and get the output. Probably we can try to add some questions to the online course website where you can submit and run, but we cannot assure that we can do this in the coming week. So hopefully for at least the December 14th round we can do something. So it won't be a mock test, but maybe some more programming assignments, programming practice problem. Okay, so there is this question. My senior was asked, like, which is fastest, I equal to I plus 1, I plus plus, or plus plus I. Also explain why. Okay, so this is a technicality. Uh, the way it is usually explained uh, is that, okay, in general, in pre-increment and post-increment operators are faster than operations like I equal to I plus 1. That depends on the compiler generated code. So you can say that plus plus I and I plus plus are both faster than I equal to I plus plus I equal to I plus 1, because maybe the compiler can use auto increment and auto decrement operations that are available in the assembler directly. Uh, Between I plus plus and plus plus I is slightly faster because traditionally I equal to traditionally I plus plus involves one extra temporary variable, and you have to set this temporary variable in order to get the post increment operation. So this is a slightly technical question. So the brief answer is plus plus I is fastest. But again, in general, this is not what will make your code fast. What will make your code fast is better algorithms. So your code is not going to jump orders of magnitude faster in efficiency just because you have changed I equal to I plus 1 systematically to plus plus I. So this is an issue, first of all, which was relevant in the olden days with very basic compilers. Nowadays, compilers are quite clever to figure these things out, and you should not worry about these issues. For a very technical reason, again, this issue comes up when you have classes in C++, but uh, since we are not dealing with C++ and classes in this course, I will not go into this issue. So the brief answer is plus plus I is fastest because I plus plus involves certain temporary variable setting and resetting. And I equal to I plus 1 involves a full-blown addition operation, which is much slower in the machine when compared to the auto-increment operation. But as a high-level programmer, you should not worry about these issues because faster algorithms will beat slower code where just I equal to I plus 1 has been changed to plus plus I plus plus. So these are minor issues in the overall performance of the code. So again, on the exam, there is a question, what documents do you have to carry on exam day? So you will be issued a hall ticket on Tuesday, by Tuesday, and the hall ticket will contain details of the exam center and things like that. So you have to bring that hall ticket plus some ID government issued ID card for this purpose. So it may be driving license or similar PAN card or election card or something, voter ID. So your hall ticket and your ID. So these are the documents that you have to bring for the exam. Okay. So let's deal with the questions about the exam first, and we'll come to the technical questions after that. So there's a question which says like, when will the result of the certification exam be declared? So the result of the certification exam will be declared. We are trying to declare it within 2 weeks of the final day of the exam. So final day of the exam is mid-December. So by end of December, you should be able to get the result of the exam. Now, there is a question on so there is a question that says that I have not got the examination center. The examination center will be present on the hall ticket, which you should be able to get in a day or two. And yeah. So another important question is regarding the mode by which the certificate will be given. So we'll be giving an electronic copy as well as a printed copy, and the printed copy will be sent over speed post. So there are questions which say like, will you send it over speed post? So yeah, we are planning to send the printed copy over speed post. Also, the e-copy should be available on the course website. You can download, maybe print it out and laminate it. And the certificate can always be verified by going to the online website where it will be available. So those are the exam related questions. If you have further exam related questions, please post on the forum and somebody from the NPTEL will be able to respond to your questions. So in brief, the documents to bring to the exam are the hall ticket and the ID. And as far as the results are concerned, we will try to issue the result within 2 weeks of December, the December round of exam. So by end of December, you should know the results. And the certificates will be available both as downloadable PDF from the course website, and plus we will send the paper copy over by speed post. Okay, so let's back to the technical questions. So these were pretty much the questions on the exams. Okay. There's also an important question. There's a student who has asked that the assignment showed the expected output versus the actual output. Will this be done with Excel? Yes, this will be done for the public test cases. So you will have a set of public test cases and a set of private test cases. And what will happen is that the public test cases, you will show the expected output and the actual output. For the private test cases, it will just show how many of the private test cases you have passed or failed. So there is a question. We, yeah. So there is a question about that. Can we post some more questions on practice problems, and we'll try to. Yeah, we'll try to do this over the next. So now, okay, there's a technical question on when do we use arguments in the main function and where do the return values go? Um, what does oops actually mean? First of all, okay, this round of the code, this round of the program is not going into the object-oriented programming. So I'll ignore that part of the question. So when do we use arguments in main function? This is when you have printed, when you have executed the program, you always type a.exe and then or a.out and just executed the function. In addition, you can say a.out some argument and some other argument. So these are the arguments to the function. These are the usual arguments that are given to the main function. So we have not used this facility much in the course. So the return value of the main is returned to the executing shell. So if you are running it so the shell receives the return values needed for further programs. So the arguments in the main function are passed along with the function when you have along with the function when you have um, extra function extra arguments to the runtime, and the return value goes to the shell. So okay. So there is a question saying if anybody did the first 3 assignment scores of 100%, then how much percentage score is given for the certificate of this assignment score? So basically, if you have submitted 3 assignments and you have scored 100 on that, that will be your best 3 assignments. So 50% of your total score will come from the assignment score. So basically, you will get full of that 50%. So third, okay, there is a question which says like, can you please explain the use of malloc function in the database problem? I tried and I couldn't get it. Okay, so this is a specific question about the student database problem. So I'll try to explain this in the solution. Okay. So this one, so malloc is generally used whenever you want dynamically allocated memory. So suppose you have many students and you don't, suppose you have n students and you don't know before you run the program how many students there are going to be. Then you will need to allocate memory for the students who are for the student records, and this can be done dynamically using the malloc function. So since this is a specific question for a given problem, then I'll try to post it along with the solution. So there is a question which says, "Sir, please suggest a book for C." I have done this on the forum. I am suggesting two books. One is the Shom series for C programming. This is good for several getting several exercise problems, as well as it's a good book to learn the basic concepts of C programming. The second book that I suggest is the C programming book by Kernighan and Ritchie. And yeah, so this is the standard book for programming, but it's also slightly much more advanced than the first book that I suggested. So Kernighan and Ritchie, again, it has several slightly tougher exercises. And for further programming in C, you would definitely need this as a reference. So, okay, there is a question on is there any negative marking in the questions? There is no negative marking in the questions. So there will be many test cases, and there will be even weight for all the, so there will be equal weight for each of the test cases. So, so what is the difference between C and C++? Okay, so this is anyway. So C and C++ are two different languages. C++ is what is known as an object-oriented language, or rather, technically, you could say that C++ has object-oriented features. It also supports other kinds of programming. Okay, so yeah, so C is a function that C is a language that supports function and a certain block structured way of certain block structured facilities in programming. And C++ is a programming language that supports different paradigms. It supports object-oriented programming and certain other things. So I am registered for the exam, but I did not get any message for examination center. Okay, so this is again, the exam center will be specified in the hall ticket. So please explain this header file. Hash include bits /std_c++.h. Anyway, this is a C++ header, and this course will not use any C++ features, so you can just ignore it. So can you kindly explain with an example about static and dynamic binding with early and late binding points? So this is yeah, I don't know what is the context. So I'll take this question later. Please explain exactly what is the context in which you are talking about it, because this doesn't seem like a concept that is relevant to C. So I'll just skip that question. Okay, so there's another question on certification for programming data structures and algorithms, but the condition of certificate is very bad. So we'll try to send it by speed post this time, so that this is not repeated. So I did not submit assignments. Will I be eligible for registering the certification course? Well, everybody who has registered for the course is eligible for taking the exam. But remember that the scoring is weighted based on both the assignments as well as the exam. So, and in the end, we cannot assure you whether you will be eligible for the whether you will be able to get the entire score or not. So it looks difficult if you have not submitted any assignment. You are eligible for sitting in the exam, but it is difficult to get enough score to be eligible for the certification. So there is a question, what is the difference between parameters and arguments? So parameters are arguments. If I've used them in different videos, so they are used interchangeably. There is a distinction between formal parameter and actual parameter. So formal parameter is what is used when you declare a function, and actual parameter is what a calling function passes to the function. So actual parameter is arguments that are passed to the function, and formal parameters are the parameters which are visible at the function declaration. Okay. Okay. Both programs will give different outputs. Please explain int a equal to 1 plus a plus a, b equal to plus a plus a. So I have explained the pre-increment and the post-increment operator in specific detail in the videos. So please look at those videos. So in particular, I can say that b equal to plus a plus a is not specified. So the result is unspecified according to C standards. So I clearly explained like what are the cases that are handled and what are the cases that are unspecified. Please take a look at it. So there's a question, sir. What is MG? I don't know the context of this. So please explain what you mean. So if you explain, I'll come back to it and answer it later. So does it matter if we take a large number of attempts to solve a problem? No, it does not matter. So you can submit any number of wrong attempts, and it is your last attempt that will be graded. So please explain the pattern of exam level of difficulty and weightage of each question. So this is, I have gone over this. I have, so there will be 4 exams. There will be 4 questions in the exam. One will be an easy question. The other will be, two will be medium and one will be difficult. And the level of difficulty will be slightly below the level of difficulty that you have seen in homework questions, because you have to solve this in a time bound manner. Okay. So there is another question: how to create programs on dynamic allocation of memory in GCC compiler, as it does not have alloc.h file. So if you just include stdlib.h, that malloc should be available to you. Now, if you are using C++, then you have new, but then it's just for malloc free and alloc and calloc and things like that. Just the alloc.h file should be there. So there is a specific question on change of examination center. I have forwarded this to the concerned authorities, and they should be able to get that to you. So, what does the phrase 3 highest weekly online assignment scores mean? Does it mean 3 highest assignment scores out of 5 assignments? Yes, this is exactly what it means. So, what if you have submitted 3 assignments? It will take those 3 scores. If you have submitted more than 3 assignments, it will take the highest 3 scores out of those that you have submitted. So, okay, there is a question like, can you teach us procedural programming concepts and approaches, also the relative study of concepts and practical? Okay, uh, so this course was designed to teach procedural programming concepts. Uh, yeah. So if you have any specific doubts, we can go over it over the forum. This question is slightly too broad. So procedural programming concepts involve loops, conditional blocks, the fact that you will take a program and modularize it by deciding functions and so on. So we have gone over several of these concepts uh, in the course of the videos. If there is anything specific that you would like to know, please post on the forum and I'll try to respond. So there is a question which says that I'm confused with driven operators. So let's try to see this. Yeah. So there is a question which says in I equal to 10, I equal to I plus I plus I plus plus. So again, this has been described in the last video of the course where I tried to go over expressions with side effects. This expression in particular, the first expression as well as the second expression, uh, their results are unspecified for the reason that one full expression contains multiple updates on the same variable. So the C standard clearly says that these kind of expressions are unspecified. The result of these expressions are unspecified. So if you see people claiming that they know the result of these, it just means that one compiler on one particular architecture or machine architecture does it in a particular way. It doesn't mean that this is what the C standard says. So GCC or Intel may behave in a certain way. Maybe if you change the operating system, maybe if you change the architecture, if you try executing on an AMD machine, or instead of GCC you take a different compiler, the result may be different. This is because the C standard doesn't say what should be the result. Okay, so please go over the video where I try to explain the technical details involved in evaluating such expressions. Okay, so here is the question on the compressed string problem, and there is a particular algorithm. Again, this is a homework specific problem, so I'll skip it for now and come back and answer to it in the text. So the question that I'm seeing posted by Akshay from Hyderabad, sir, can we pass a function to a function as a parameter? So this is not allowed in C. You cannot pass a function to a function as a parameter. However, you can pass a pointer to a function. So there are some standard C library functions, for example, qsort. It says that okay, you can pass a pointer to a function as an argument to the qsort function. So please look at the documentation of the qsort function to see an example of how you pass uh, a function pointer as an argument to a function. You cannot pass a complete function to another function. This is not allowed in C, but you can pass function pointer. So there is this question which says like, what will be the weightage of the questions in the exam? So I don't recall at this moment what was the precise weightage, but the easy question will have, let's say, 20 points. Medium questions will have 25 points, and the difficult question will have 30 points. I don't know if they adds up to 100, but something like that is the gradation in the weightage of the questions in the exam. So there is a question. So what is the use of .h and .c in header file? Okay, it's not exactly clear what it means. So .h is the header file format in C. So typically you would put all the declarations of the functions and the structures in the header file. .c is where you write the definitions of the functions. So .c will contain the logic of the function, and .h will simply declare the type of a function. For example, in copy uh, character star A, character star B, uh, close bracket, semicolon. This much will be present in the header file if you want to say that copy is a function that other files can use. The actual logic of the copy function will be usually written in a .c file. So I hope that answers the question to a certain degree. Okay, so let me just go over the questions. I think there are more questions which have come up. So we were not getting time limit exceeded or wrong answer in our private test cases. We just got 0 out of 100. Please give more informative messages in the final exam and tell us why we got 0 out of 0. So we'll forward this to the TCS people who are deciding the platform. I'm not sure whether we can give the exact error, but at least we can give an indication of how many test cases have passed. So if no test cases have passed, this could be taken as an indication that there could be a problem in your code, like it is giving a sec fault or something. But if it is giving a wrong answer on very few cases, maybe it is a time limit exceeded. By the way, we have designed the questions so that none of them require really efficient algorithms. So it's not going to be that pushing the time limit exceeded bounds. But of course, if your code is bad, then you could encounter a time limit exceeded. So to summarize, I don't know whether we can pass on the exact uh, error message to the interface, but we'll forward your request and we'll try to see what we can do about it. But for now, you can see how many test cases have passed. Okay, let me just do. Okay, I guess this is pretty much the questions that I'm seeing on the. Yeah, so this is pretty much the questions that I'm seeing on the forum. Hopefully, I have answered the questions to a certain degree of satisfaction. There are some questions which I've skipped because uh, some of them addressed particular assignment problems, so I'll try to answer them in text. There is also one technical question about casting to a different character pointer and so on. So I'll give a slightly detailed answer in text on the forum. So please read that when that is posted. So since there are not many questions left, I guess. Okay, so there's a request which says that you haven't provided the correct solution for coin counting problems. So please try to do that. So this was an oversight. We'll try to fix this as soon as possible. Okay. So I'll wait for a couple more minutes. If you have any questions, please post them, and I'll try to answer them. Okay, looks like not many new questions are being posted. So I'll disconnect from this. So thank you for participating. If you have further questions, please post on the forum, and we'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. Uh, so specific questions like change of examination centers, etc., I have forwarded to the concerned authorities, and they should be able to get back to you before the exam. Okay, so thank you for watching, and disconnect.